in the heart of Yale University's Beinecke library, inside a vault that requires a special key, sits a book that should not exist. It's small, just 240 pages of vellum, handwritten sometime in the early 1400s. And it is, by every measure we have, completely unreadable, not hard to read, not written in a language we haven't found yet. Unreadable, as in 600 years of the smartest minds on Earth have failed to translate a single word. But here's the strange part. The more scientists try to decode it, the more the book seems to push back, like it was built to be unsolvable, like whoever made it wanted it to stay a secret forever. Think about that, an entire book, real, sitting in a real library, and nobody on Earth can tell you what it says. Let's start with what we actually know, because the facts alone are strange enough. The Voynich Manuscript, named after a Polish book dealer who bought it in 1912, is roughly the size of a modern paperback. Its pages are made of calfskin vellum, and carbon dating places it firmly between 1404 and 1438. That part isn't disputed. This is a genuine 15th century artifact. It's written in a script that exists nowhere else on Earth. Linguists call it Beinecke, a flowing, cursive-looking text that runs left to right. And here's the thing that drives codebreakers insane. It behaves like a real language. The words follow patterns. Certain symbols appear more often, the way the letter E shows up constantly in English. Some characters only ever sit at the beginning of words, some only at the end. It has grammar, it has structure, but no one, not once, not in 600 years, has extracted a single piece of meaning from it. Suddenly, this wasn't just an old book. It was a locked door with no keyhole. Before we talk about what's inside, we have to ask who it belonged to, because the ownership trail reads like a spy novel. The earliest confirmed owner was Rudolf II, Holy Roman Emperor, in the late 1500s. Rudolf was obsessed with the occult, with alchemy, with anything hidden. He reportedly paid 600 gold ducats for the manuscript, a fortune. That's roughly the price of a small house today. Before Rudolf, the trail gets murkier. Some accounts trace it to John Dee, the famous English mathematician, astronomer, and alleged spy who signed his secret letters to Queen Elizabeth with the code name 007. Sound familiar? That's where James Bond's number came from. Dee believed the manuscript held lost knowledge, maybe even the language of angels, which he claimed to have been taught. After him, the book vanished into private collections for centuries, resurfacing only when Wilfrid Voynich stumbled across it in an Italian Jesuit college in 1912. But what if that isn't the whole story? Some researchers believe the book's real history was deliberately erased, that the people who held it understood its danger better than we do. The manuscript is divided into sections, and each one is stranger than the last. The first is what researchers call the herbal section, page after page of plants, except these plants don't exist. They're drawn with roots, leaves, and flowers that look almost real, until you notice the roots are twisting into shapes no botanist has ever documented. Some appear to be real species drawn strangely. Others are pure invention. The second is the astronomical section. Circular diagrams, zodiac symbols, and charts of stars, including suns and moons in arrangements that don't match any known medieval cosmology. It's as if whoever wrote this was mapping a sky nobody else could see. Then comes the biological section. Here's where it gets genuinely uncomfortable. Drawings of small, naked figures, dozens of them, standing inside what look like pipes, tubes, and interconnected chambers, often wading through strange green liquid. Some researchers read this as a medical text about bathing and health. Others see something far more unsettling. And finally, the pharmaceutical section. Rows of herbs, jars, and what appear to be recipes. Pages of dense text surrounding plants, believed to be instructions. But instructions for what? That's the question nobody can answer. because the one thing all 4 sections share is that not a single word has ever been read. Now, this is where the story stops being a curiosity and becomes something almost impossible to believe, because it's not that people haven't tried, it's who has tried and failed. During the Second World War, the United States assembled the greatest code-breaking operation in history. These were the people who cracked the German Enigma machine and the Japanese Purple Cipher, achievements that helped win the war. One of their leaders was William Friedman, considered the father of modern American cryptology. Friedman became obsessed with the Voynich Manuscript. He spent decades on it. His team at the NSA, the National Security Agency, the most powerful intelligence agency on the planet, kept files on the manuscript for years. The official conclusion? An unreadable text. Think about that. The same institution that broke enemy codes under the pressure of a world war, with unlimited budget and the best minds alive, could not crack a single page of a 15th century book. Decades later, computers arrived. Then artificial intelligence, Google Translate, neural networks trained on every known language. In recent years, researchers fed the manuscript to AI systems built specifically to decode ancient texts. And still, nothing that holds up. Every claimed breakthrough collapses under scrutiny. Every translation turns out to be wishful thinking. Suddenly, the Voynich Manuscript wasn't just a mystery, it was a taunt. So, if 600 years of genius couldn't read it, what are we actually looking at? Theory 1. It's a hoax. A 15th century con man wrote meaningless gibberish in a made-up script, filled it with nonsense drawings, and sold it to a gullible emperor for a fortune. It's the simplest explanation. But here's the problem: the statistical fingerprints. The text follows Zipf's law, the same mathematical pattern that real languages follow. A random scribble shouldn't do that. You'd have to be a genius to fake it this perfectly. And why would a genius waste that on a hoax? Theory 2. It's a real language, written in an unknown script. A cipher, hiding a message we haven't cracked because we don't know the underlying language. Some have proposed it's a lost language, or an early constructed language, a code deliberately built to encode knowledge. In 2018, researchers claimed it might be Hebrew, with the letters rearranged. In 2019, another team said it was Proto-Romance. In 2020, someone insisted it was Turkish. Every single one of these was torn apart within months. Theory 3. It's a language, but not a human one. And this is where the manuscript crosses from history into something darker, because the book's most vocal defenders have always claimed it came from somewhere else, that its author had access to knowledge that shouldn't have existed in 1420. But here's the strange part. None of these theories, not even the wildest one, explains the newest twist in the story. Because in the last few years, the machines finally started producing answers, and those answers made people go quiet. In 2017, a researcher claimed an AI had cracked the manuscript using a method that decoded 80% of it as a form of Hebrew. The story went viral until experts showed the method was flawed, cherry-picking results to fit a conclusion. The translation was dismantled. Then came the bigger claim. Researchers using linguistic analysis argued the manuscript is written in a Proto-Romance language, an ancestor of modern Spanish and Italian, and that the first sentence translates to something about a straying woman. The internet exploded. The Voynich Manuscript has been solved, except it hadn't. Other linguists showed the same method could translate random noise into convincing sentences. The peer-reviewed community largely rejected it, but by then, the headline had already traveled around the world, and that's the real lesson of the Voynich Manuscript in 2026. It's no longer just a test of code breaking, it's a test of how we handle mystery itself. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. We live in an age that hates an unsolved puzzle. The moment a claim sounds confident enough, we share it. whether or not it's real. The manuscript has become a mirror. It shows us how desperate we are for answers and how little we require before we believe one. But what if that isn't the whole story either? What if the manuscript is doing exactly what its creator intended, holding its secret, waiting? Let's step back, because the most interesting thing about the Voynich Manuscript isn't the text, it's the silence around it. For 600 years, the smartest people alive, emperors, spies, generals, mathematicians, artificial intelligence, have all been defeated by 240 pages of calfskin. And in that failure, there's something almost beautiful. We've mapped the human genome. We've photographed black holes. We've built machines that can hold a conversation. And yet, a book written by a person we'll never name, in a script we'll never read, still sits in a vault in Connecticut, refusing to give up its secret. Maybe that's the point. Maybe some things are supposed to remain unknown, because think about what would happen if we actually solved it. Imagine the day a translation is confirmed. The mystery, 600 years of it, would vanish overnight. The Voynich Manuscript would become just another historical document. Interesting, yes, but no longer a legend. There's a version of this story where the manuscript is more valuable unsolved than it ever could be solved. So, what do we actually know? We know it's real. Carbon dated to the early 1400s, sitting in one of the world's great libraries. We know it's written in a script that behaves like language, but has never surrendered a single word. We know the CIA, the NSA, and every AI ever pointed at it have failed. And we know that every few years, someone announces it's solved, and every time, the claim collapses. Which leaves us with the only honest conclusion. The Voynich Manuscript remains what it has always been, the world's most mysterious book, a locked door with no keyhole standing in plain sight, and maybe, just maybe, that's exactly how it was meant to be. If this story stayed with you, there are hundreds more where it came from, the codes, the books, and the secrets that history couldn't quite bury. Subscribe, and don't let the next one disappear into the dark.